Now that we have become Pokemon Champion, a 5-star Michelin sandwich chef, and put down a student insurrection, we have been invited to a faraway land as part of a school offering to give other students in Paldea a chance at graduating. With new friends to make and enemies to unmake, it's time we head inside and talk to the stranger who will be in charge of our well-being. This school is foaming at the mouths to be rid of us, and after adding a few extra kids to make it seem like we aren't being singled out, we board the plane and head to the Kitakami region. Upon landing, we are sent on ahead to the local village of Mosui to talk to the caretaker. There we meet two anime-looking kids who, after a brief introduction, try to deport us through violence. We manage to resist long enough for the actual authorities to show up and chase off the troublemakers. Now that that's done, everyone arrives in town and we all take a well-deserved nap. The next morning, we are gathered and introduced to Carmine, who we battled yesterday, and her brother Qilin. Qilin is upset we beat his sister and decides to try his own luck on us. We show Qilin why the school decided to get rid of us for a week and wipe out his team. With that out of the way, we are told that for the school trip, we must go to the 3 historical billboards that tell the story of Kitakami's local legend. We must also team up with another student for accountability. We choose Qilin and head to the first billboard. It's a short jaunt down the road and we are able to easily find the first billboard. Something about an ogre, a dog, a bird, and a monkey. It would appear as if the ogre came down the mountain and tried to beat up the other 3, but it lost. Qilin seems to be really into the ogre. Kinda worrying, but he can do him. We take a picture to celebrate and agree to meet at the second billboard at the local shrine temple. At the temple, we learn that the ogre liked masks. It even had a collection of 4, but the dog, monkey, and bird each stole one to make the ogre weaker. Qilin goes on about being strong like the ogre and how cool it is. We take another picture and decide to head up the mountain to where the ogre once lived. Upon arriving at the cave, Qilin tries to summon the ogre by having a battle, but he gets beaten so badly that I'm pretty sure the ogre wouldn't be interested in Qilin at all. Happy just to have been near the ogre's home, Qilin then invites us to the local Festival of Masks, and we gladly agree to go. We meet up at Qilin's house and bump into their grandparents. Carmine appears and runs to collect her festival mask, but decides she wants to try battling us again since the first time clearly didn't count. We beat her again and she's none too thrilled. Carmine runs off and we head to the festival with Qilin. At the festival, we visit some stalls and Carmine even challenges us to beat her high score at ogre ousting. It's a close match, but we manage to win. Qilin escorts the temper tantrum throwing Carmine away, and we get a look at a short thing over near the main shrine. We go to investigate and find a mask-wearing child. Carmine appears and scares them away, but the child ends up dropping their mask. And what a big mask it is! Embarrassed, the child runs off into the mountain. Putting our heads together with Carmine, we realized that that was no child at all, but a Pokemon. And not just any Pokemon, but probably the ogre from the stories. Qilin finds us and we lie about what we just saw because we don't want him getting too excited at this time of night. Carmine then asks us to meet with her later to discuss what we saw. The next day, Carmine finds us and we talk about our next move. She tells us that her grandpa is a history nerd and he may have an idea, so we go and see him. Qilin shows up, but we shoo him away and show the old man the mask. He tells us the real story of the ogre and how they are super cool and that the monkey, dog, and bird are the real losers. The three of them stole from the ogre and convinced the people that the ogre was the actual jerk. Since we can't go around telling people that the bad guys weren't the ogre, because people love their little criminals, and since we can't tell Qilin cause he'd probably run his mouth and people love their little criminals, there's not much we can do. All that's left is to meet up with Qilin and visit the last story billboard. Except now he's acting strange. At the billboard, Qilin is more interested in a Pokemon battle, and this time he's really stepped up his game. But still not enough to take down Paldea's rising star. With another loss, Qilin is really starting to not take it well. We read the last bit of Kitakami lore. It's just a warning that the ogre is bad? Qilin tells us about his family's history as mask makers. We take a picture to prove we finished the homework, and Qilin excuses himself to go train. And with our homework done and nothing else to do, we excuse ourselves and go to bed. The next morning, we wake up and go to find Carmine with her grandpa. Grandpa says that the mask is damaged, and to fix it we will need a bit of crystal. Carmine says we can find some at the top of Oni Mountain, so we head on up. At the mountain top, in front of a small lake with a massive crystal, we are attacked by a crazy melodic. We overpower it and collect some crystal droppings. Professor Briar shows up, spouts something about crystals, and we leave her to go see Grandpa again. Back at Grandpa's, we find out that Qilin stole the mask. So we go and hunt him down by the memorial to the Loyal Three. Qilin is upset that we kept the information about how good the ogre was. Guess he overheard us talking about it, and so he wants another battle. And he brings some heat. We cool him down and collect the mask, after he throws a little temper tantrum. However, after Qilin runs off, the Loyal Three somehow resurrect themselves? The Loyal Three run off, and we come to find out that at the main shrine, they collected their masks with the intention to finish off the ogre. Carmine runs back to her grandpa to get the Teal Mask, while we run to the ogre's aid. We arrive at the ogre's den and see the ogre being gamed up on, and step in to even the odds. We take out the monkey, which gives Carmine enough time to arrive with the mask, and she even has Qilin in tow. Seeing that they might be in trouble, the Loyal Three decide to book it. Qilin apologizes to us, and we return the ogre's mask to the ogre. And he appears to be super happy and wants to come along with us as we hunt down the troublemakers. But we don't know where they are, so we return to Mossweed and ask around for clues. It doesn't take much work to get the information, and we are ready to get to work. But Qilin says he has other things to do and parts ways. First up at the lake, we go round 2 with the monkey, and after defeating it, we take back the water mask. Up next in the rocky valley is the dog, who goes down not that easily, but we do get the stone mask. Finally, up in the mountain, we fight the bird. And after making us chase it around, we get back the fire mask. Just in time, too, because at this time, Qilin shows back up and asks us to come to the village. It turns out that Qilin was fed up about the lies and slander being told about the ogre. So he took it upon himself to spread the good word of Ogrepon. The villagers even apologize for misunderstanding the ogre for so long. With a happy ending on the horizon, all that's left is to take Ogrepon home. At Ogrepon's den, Ogrepon doesn't seem to want to part, and instead seems like it wants to come with us on our adventures. This makes Qilin extremely jealous and angry. He demands that we have a final battle to once and for all decide who Ogrepon goes with. And so we do, and after the toughest fight with Qilin yet, we come out on top. But our battle makes Ogrepon inspired, so we have a battle with them too. And after powering through everything Ogrepon has, we catch it. With our new friend in tow and our first Kitakami friend running off upset, Carmine invites us to head home together. On the final day of the trip, Carmine asks us to meet her at the ruins of the three troublemakers. She wants to have a battle with Ogerpon, and we are just too happy to oblige her. It's a fun fight, but we come out on top. We then get a call to return to the village for a proper goodbye. We find out that Briar, Carmine, and Qilin will be returning to their school immediately. But because we made such good friends with both Carmine and Qilin, we receive an invitation to come and visit, and we will be too happy to take them up on it.